Yes. Mhm. The selling or buying of children? Yes. So as to sexually exploit their sexual nerve endings? Yes. And then the intent is to failure to report child abuse because you don't enforce forgery laws? No. You don't enforce the actual requirements of the law that I received notice of court hearings? No. You do not enforce the laws that make it a fraud to say that I got actual notice? Yes. And then you do not enforce the laws that say that this was a wrongful execution of a protection order? Yes. And you don't enforce the laws that make it a requirement of law that an individual has to be in an actual city for there to be the allegation of a crime? Yes. And you don't enforce forgery laws? No. No, no. And then you don't enforce the obligation to have to tell me what you want? Yes. And you don't enforce the actual laws that make it a crime to arrest somebody when you know they didn't commit any crime? Poop. Now it looks like somebody thought that they could buy my sons? Yes. But I wasn't in Squim, Washington. No. I was in Port Angeles. Poop. And I wasn't in Jefferson County. No. But you issued a bail bond for $500,000. And then when I tell you that you have to admit the evidence, you decided that you can buy and sell children. Now, where the fuck's my sons? How much did you get paid, Judge? How much did you get paid? Because now it's not a show. It's the selling of Paul Budnick's 5 sons, yes, so as to enrich yourselves at the expense of myself, yes, so that they can be sexually employed. All right. Failure. See, I got a dictionary. Oh, it seems that the family doesn't understand failure. Yes. I thought we'd look it up, what it means to be a failure. Because I'm going to put you in prison. Do you understand? I'm going to put you in prison for selling my sons to whomever it was that paid to have them. Yes. Because it is against the law to buy and sell children. Now, you called it a show where I paid you to make a show, but really you sold them. You didn't just sell them because you didn't give me notice of court hearings. You didn't sell them because you didn't have jurisdiction. You sold them when you issued. Oh, now you're a bunch. You're a failure, Judge. You're a fucking failure. You're a criminal that got paid to sell my sons to my wife so that she could use them as a communication system, and she had to sew into their sexual nerve endings. Now, how did sexual exploitation of children? Failures. What's it mean to fail? You fail to enforce the laws. Yes. You fail to admit the evidence. Right. You fail to have the actual requirement of the law to be able to issue a decree of dissolution. Yes. You failed to acknowledge that the United Nations is the actual law. Yes. And then you intentionally used the state court failure. Failure. You're a failure. It's a word that you can't accept, can you? You have some sort of mental disease or defect to acknowledge the failure of you issuing a court order where the whole problem was, that fail, fail, failure. Now used only to strengthen injunction. Failure. Failure to report child abuse. Failure. Used in the absolute in the sense to disappoint expectation, be wanting or defective. To be or become deficient. Failure. To fall short in the performance or attainment. Yeah. The failure of those in law enforcement to enforce child abuse laws. You failed to enforce. Well, how much did you get paid? Now it's not a bribe. You sold my sons, and who was it that who? Well, you went through their sexual nerve endings. You know, when I decided to volunteer, yes, my adult man genitals for the reprogramming of your lizard. Yes, you did. You wanted to use children to do that, Simon says. Pooped. Now, you failed. You chiefly have impaired your failure.